Hello, and welcome to the Kathleen Spracklin podcast. Are you ready for the next step in our minimalist card numbering system? Guess what? We're going to put our first numbers on cards today, and we're going to learn about how to do the index. So this is a pretty exciting episode. So come on over to the down-facing camera and let's take a look at the cards we've made and begin to assign our very first numbers. See you over there. Well, we're going to be working with our main box today, and we're going to be working with the cards that we made following both our main card checklist and then most recently our new foundation card checklist. You should have 3 clumps of cards based on the 3 books that you've made and with the foundation card that you made to go with each of the 3 books. I've made this clear by clipping together the 3 groups. What I'd like you to do now is take out your foundation cards, your 3 foundation cards, and we're going to work with those. So here are my 3 foundation cards. What I'd like you to do is to recall that your foundation cards were made with a core area in mind for each of your 3 cards, and make sure that the core area shows up in your tagline. It probably will. And if it does, I'd like you to underline the core area, that the word in your tagline that represents the core area. So I want to set LiLLiPub up on a solid business foundation. So the core area is business. Here, my second was that I may know and live my faith through Jesus Christ. My faith is the core area. And now my third one, I want a pattern language to ponder knowledge. And knowledge is my core area, but wait, this does not feel quite as core as it possibly could. You see, each of these cards is going to serve as the anchor card for a whole field of study that you know is important to you because it came out of your reading plan. And yes, knowledge is important to me, but guess what? Knowledge itself belongs to a larger core area that knowledge is a part of. So I feel in looking at this card that I have not really gotten to the overarching area of study that fascinates me. So I can see that I have not really gotten all the way to the foundation card. So now what I need to do is repeat the step going from this card. What larger whole is knowledge a part of? That's my real core area. And why am I studying this wider core area? What is the larger purpose? So I realized I needed to make a card that was even more foundational than this one. So this card now follows all of the steps of establishing a main card. I want to learn more about what? How the human mind works. I want to know more about how knowledge, memory, and communication work so that I can, my larger purpose, so that I can indulge my curiosity about how the mind works. Well, yes, but also so that I can communicate better with new concepts and ideas. And so here's my reaction. I'd love to know more about how we come to understand concepts and how we manage to communicate and share new ideas with others. So now I have an even more foundational card. So if this happened to you, please go ahead and make your new, deeper foundation card before we proceed with our first card numbers. And stop when you have 3 cards that represent 3 very different foundation areas. Mine are business, faith, and how the mind works. Now, the next thing that we need to do before we begin to assign numbers is to understand a little bit about how these cards are going to work. These 3 cards are going to head up sections in our Zettelkasten that will have other cards that come after them. If we arrange the cards in the box, in which box? In our main box, of course. When we've got these cards arranged and all the cards are numbered, all of the cards about each section will be in a group behind these cards, which are our foundation cards. So at this moment in time, we're going to assign our first 3 card numbers. And so what I want you to do is I want you to take your 3 foundation cards and arrange them in the order of closeness to your own heart. 1, 2, 3. Because these cards are going to be card numbers 1, 2, 3. Now, if you already have cards with numbers on them in your Zettelkasten, you know how I feel about renumbering cards, or you should. If you've already got cards in your Zettelkasten, you've probably watched some of my other videos. We aren't going to do any renumbering of any cards. So stick around to the end and we'll talk about where these fit in if you already have cards with numbers in your system. So for this moment, I'm assuming that I'm working with those of you who are just starting out, and these are going to be the first 3 cards with any numbers on them. So the one that is closest to your heart will be card 1, then card 2, then card 3. So I want you to put the card number in the upper left-hand corner of the card. So these are my cards 1, 2, 3. My card 1 was about my faith, card 2 about business, and card 3 about the human mind and how it works. Congratulations! You've just numbered 3 cards. Well, there's a very important next step and a very important type of box that we need to introduce. You've already met the main box. You've already met the bib box. It's time to meet the index box. The index box will have a very important role to play. It's empty right now, but your index box is going to help you find the cards that you're looking for in your system. And it has really, really important roles to play, both in helping you place a new card into your system and in helping you locate a card that you know is in there, helping you be able to find that card. The index box is an alphabetical box. At some point in time, you will want a set of alphabetic dividers like these, or really like any other type that you might find that matches the size of your cards, 4 by 6, and that gives you the ability to look up words. Now, we have 3 different boxes for 3 very important purposes. The bib box keeps the information about your sources together in one place. Your main box is going to keep ideas together in one place. And your index box is going to keep words together in one place. 3 things that have to be maintained, 3 boxes to keep them, each to do its own very important job. Now, you don't have to have the alphabetic index dividers to start with, because at first you won't have a gazillion, you won't have more than 26 if you covered every letter of the alphabet, and it'll be a while before you cover every letter of the alphabet. So you don't need to be in a rush to get these, but you will find as your index grows that you really do want them. So let's see how we're going to make index entries for our 3 cards, because that's something that we want to do whenever we create a new main card. As soon as it has its number, we're going to want to create the index entries so that we can find that card again later, and so that card can participate in selecting the home for our coming cards. So let's talk about how we're going to make those index entries. We'll work with 1 card at a time. My card 1 was about my faith, and I already underlined the word faith because that's the core area of my faith. But now I get to underline any other word that I might think I would want to use to look up this card. And this is a personal choice. I think I'm going to use know, live, faith, of course, still, and Jesus Christ. Now I need to make index entries, an entry under the letter K, an index entry under the letter L, under the letter F, and under the letter J. You can put Jesus Christ together if you like, or you can do J and C if this were your word. If 2 words go together almost regularly and you use them as one, you can index under just one or both. You get to choose. So let's make one of these entries so you know how we do an index entry. Okay, here's the entry for the letter K, the card number, and then I leave some room for card numbers as they grow, because we'll make more letter K entries as the card goes down. And you're going to put the entire tagline on the index entry and underline the letter K here because that's where we're going to be looking up. If we're looking up for something in the letter K, that little underline will help us go straight to the word we're looking for. Similarly, we'll make another entry under the letter L. Just like the entry under K, I have the letter L, and the 1 here just means that this is the first card for the letter L. Index grows, you will have more and more of these. And again, you put the entire tagline, that I may know and live my faith through Jesus Christ, only this time I'm using the L as my underline because I'm looking it up under the letter L. Likewise, I will make entries for faith and Jesus Christ under the letter F and under the J for Jesus Christ. Assuming that I finished those 2 entries, and I will make them, my next step is going to be to figure out which keywords I want to use for this foundational card. I want to set LiLLiPub up on a solid business foundation, and I've got business already. It's about LiLLiPub, so I want to make sure I capture LiLLiPub, and I think I'll just use foundation. So now I'm going to make an entry under L for LiLLiPub, under B for business, and under F for foundation, and each one will have the whole tagline. Let's do this one for LiLLiPub. I will have to do all of them, but I'll do this one to work together. Okay, now you can see that our L card already has 2 entries because there was a live and a LiLLiPub. Each of them is the entire tagline. Now will continue on separately, making one under B for business and one under F for foundation, each of which contains the entire tagline. Now let's look at the third card. Now the third card is about how the human mind works, and I would probably choose human and works besides mind, and I think I might want know, because I do want to know more about how the human mind works. I'll make the first entry along with you so you can see how that works. So now it's the letter K that has 2 entries, one from my first foundational card and one from this third foundational card. Again, I'm going to underline the letter K to indicate, just so my eye can follow as this card fills. I want to know more about how the human mind works. I'll make additional entries for human and mind and works. So that's as far as we're going to take it today. We now know how to set up a foundational card, not only for these 3 books, but anytime you undertake a brand new field of study that's unique to anything you've ever done before in your Zettelkasten. The next brand new field of study that you take up is going to be 4, and so on. If you add new and new branches, each one will grow by 1 number, very simply, and each card will head up a whole range of cards that is about that foundational topic. As we take it further tomorrow, we'll show how those additional cards get their homes and how they get numbered. But that's for another day. We'll meet tomorrow to talk about that. Well, what I need to talk about now are for those of you who already have cards with numbers on them in your system. So stay around if you're that person. If not, have a good time and do your foundational card numbering and indexing. And remember, if your foundational topic isn't quite foundational enough, make one that's more general. You want as foundational as it can possibly be, because this is the root of your entire system, your entire research. So think a little bit about that before you make your decision. Okay, folks, those of you who are left are people who already have cards in your system. Very simply, I'm going to ask you, if your cards in your system right now already use a category system, then don't worry about it. Just start exactly as the people are doing with the rest of the Minimalist course, 1, 2, 3. Those card numbers are not in use in your system. They're free and available for you. Later on, when we talk about linking, we will attach any of those to cards that are already in your system, so don't worry about that for now. That's an advanced topic. If you're using categories and all of your existing cards are categorical, go ahead and put these as 1, 2, 3, and that is okay. If you're already numbering on the right side of the card, take your pick. I've got cards on both sides because when I've done cards directly from Scott Shepper, I've put them on the right as he does, and when I do them of my own, I put them on the left where I prefer them. I've got a mixture, It's up to you. You can put them on the left or the right. I'm just teaching the minimalist people to use the left because I don't want them to have too many decisions to make. If one of those people says, by golly, I want mine on the right, guess what? They'll put them on the right. And that's fine. The point of the minimalist is that people won't dither. Left, right, left, right. Which should I do? No, I'm telling you, do it on the left, but I don't want to. Cool. Do it on the right then. You've solved the problem. Don't dither. All right, next. If you've already started your system numbering and you are using the effortless numbering system and you've already got cards 1, 2, 3, whatever, what number is left? Go down to the end of the line and pick the next available number. If 1, 2, and 3 are already busy in your system, great. You've got 4, 5, and 6. Again, we'll worry about linking down the road when we talk about linking in general. Then we'll link to the cards that are already in your system. Right now we're trying to keep it minimal, and that means we're trying to keep it as simple as possible. So I will see you tomorrow, and we will talk about, in general, how do you place a card in the system? Because it's very unusual for placing a foundational card, and even though you may place new foundational cards in your system in the future, as your interests grow and change, after this point, all the remaining cards will follow a very important pattern that we're going to talk about tomorrow. See you then. Bye-bye.